It was a long battle, but in the end this team managed to beat Sumeru. Despite everything the land of Dendro has thrown against them, they came out victorious. Now it's time to head to Fontaine. Let's see this group of characters that the game has given us for free is able to take it on. The nation of Hydro proves to be a troublesome one, so get ready guys. This is gonna be a wild one, so buckle up and enjoy the ride. Hi everyone, Tigris here, welcome back to another video. This is part 5 of my starter and guarantee character, and this time we're in Fontaine. But for this part, it's only the first part of Fontaine. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to split Fontaine and Netland into 2 parts, because each nation will be too long if I recorded all the bosses in one video. Would this make the video shorter? Yes. But I feel like making the video slightly shorter will be better than making it too long. However, I will only do this for Fontaine and Netland because their bosses are a lot tankier than the rest of the nation. That being said, I overestimate Fontaine bosses, especially the overworld bosses, and there were only 6. I have miscounted. So for part 1 of Fontaine, I will be doing all the overworld bosses in Fontaine. Part 2 will be the 2 weekly bosses. For Netland, there might be a bit of change up because they do have 7 overworld bosses. The reason why I put all 6 bosses of Fontaine in one part and 2 weeklies in the second part is because I took way longer to beat the weekly than the open world bosses. So just to keep the time of the video relatively the same, we're gonna do it this way. As per usual, I do not change the team comp for each of these challenges. So our team will be Xiangling, Barbara, Kaya, and Noel. As I mentioned before, I do not change the team comp for these challenges because if I do change them, I have to put every character on the wheel. That would have caused a huge time difference between each video, and to maintain the schedule of every Monday and Saturday, I cannot afford to spend too much resources. Eventually, I will do a randomized team, but for now, let's just get this challenge started. We're going to start off with the Fire Crab, the Emperor of Fire and Iron. Fun fact, Barbara's skill actually cannot hit the horn, unless we charge attack. Yes, Barbara's charge attack is the only thing that can hit the horn effectively. If she spam normal attack long enough probably, but that's gonna take even longer than the charge attack. Once the crab is down, we just burst and knock him down. With this team damage, I wasn't even dreaming of finishing it in one phase. That's not gonna happen. Lucky for us, Barbara can easily just charge attack and just knock it down again. I have never fought this boss with a Hydro, and honestly I don't even want to dream of trying to. I feel like that will be an absolute nightmare. Theoretically, we can use other elements to break the horn, but the amount of damage that the Hydro do to the horn will be much higher than any other element. I tried to use Jin before, didn't work very effectively the last time. I'm not gonna try again. Unless I don't have a choice of course. Hydro is truly one of the most useful elements in this game, despite its many weaknesses. Most Hydro characters are also very easy to build. For new players, I really do suggest at least getting one Hydro character as your main. That being said, the next boss is the reason why Hydro has so many weaknesses. There is so many Hydro immune boss in this game, and many more that are Hydro resistant. That being said, it may be immune to Hydro, but since Barbara can heal, I'm still gonna use her. This boss, like many Hydro characters, really have a lot of HP, which is ironic because most Hydro characters kill off HP. It was also here that I realized the best element to clear off his little minion is either Dendro or Cryo. The best way to one-shot them anyway. Kaya was having the time of his life chasing down those little tiny things. Thank God his skill cooldown is really short. This team rely a lot on their burst, so what they do is they burst, they attack, they stay alive, knock down the minion, get their burst, start again. And that is basically the entire rotation for any boss in this game for this team. Do a lot of damage, recharge the burst, start again, do a lot of damage, recharge the burst, and start again. The only changes happen when there's a boss that is immune to something, or their resistance is super high because of something. Otherwise, the rotation is basically the same, except when there are special mechanics that force us to do different motion to stop us from dying. Now while my team tried to defeat one of the tankiest bosses in Fontaine, I'm going to review a few things that I plan to do soon. There will be a new series of shorts coming out where I'm going to use Ali to solo most of the bosses in Genshin. I have recently triple crowned my Alicino and she is my first triple crown character. Initially I wanted to do a challenge video series, but I changed my mind. I cannot think of actual challenges that will give me a lot of trouble. Instead, most of them are just time consuming. It was either going to take a very long time or it's straight out impossible. So instead, I'm going to make Ali solo all the bosses from Mondstadt to Netland. And for every boss that I fail, I'm going to do one pull either on the standard banner or the correction banner. This is the exception of the Pyro Cube, of course. Ali cannot beat the Pyro Cube because there's nothing she can do against it. And no, physical does not work against the Pyro Cube shield. Other than that, I'm going to start some live streaming. Once I figure out to cut off the background music from the actual video. Or maybe I just don't play music in the background. I'm going to start a new account with what the live stream is mostly about, especially for some of the quests. Of course, I'm not going to stream everything on that account because it's going to take a very long time, but if the account do any quest, like the Archon quest or whatever, it's going to be on the live stream. I do not plan to live stream every day, but I will log in every day just to get the daily information and do some more exploring. The new account will be completely free to play, but I might pull a few characters that the main account do not have on that account just to do the pulling videos. There might be a few characters that I have never done pulling videos for, and the secondary account might pull for them. But like I said, that account is completely free to play, so pull videos are gonna be rare. Instead, I'm gonna focus on getting as high an AR as possible as soon as possible. I do have a day job, so you can expect that the live streams are not gonna be long, maybe a couple of hours most. Most of the stream will be really late if you're in Asia, but in America, the time should be around noon. This stream will also work like a bit of a Q&A. So for any new players that want to ask for any tips, you can ask me during the live stream. The live stream probably going to start in August, somewhere around the beginning of August. I might be busy for the next few days, and I'm still not sure whether I want to be vocalized for the live stream or not. Probably yes, but don't wish for a face review, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Sorry guys. When I first started making these videos, I already decided that I'm not going to do a face review, unless absolutely necessary. Anyway, back to the content of this video. Unlike Coppelius and Coppelia, this boss is actually more dangerous than those two combined. While those two hit really hard, this boss takes it to an entirely new level. The whole reason I did not talk about Coppelia and Coppelius because all I did was stay close to it and keep hitting it. With this team, I'm not going to die. But for this boss, you actually need to actively dodge this attack because it's gonna hurt. This boss can easily two-shot anyone except for Noelle. And that's because the defense artifact made her so tanky. But even with those, if she took the blow straight up, it would last like 3 blows at most. This boss does about 10,000 damage per hit. That's basically their life. Despite saying that, all this boss does is do their slam attack. If we dodge it right, there's no way we're gonna die. Unfortunately, damage is another issue for this team. And even if we burst, if the timing is wrong, all we're doing is wasting our burst. Because if this boss flies, there's nothing we can do with the burst. If you were to ask me, the best character against this boss is like Cheska or Auroron. And maybe even Venti or Skara. Citlali and Legend will also be good characters against this boss, because all you have to do is get a character that can fly. This boss cannot hit you if you can fly. It's an anti-gravity boss. What are you expecting? But of course, even if it takes forever, if we chip away at it, it's gonna die eventually. Next up is the last open world boss for Fontaine and also the last boss for this video. I'll be doing the weekly for Fontaine in the next part. And trust me, that one took a really long time. I already recorded the fight against the whale and that fight took 15 minutes. It was one heck of a long fight. The time that I took to beat that boss is equivalent to every open world boss fight in Fontaine. So you can imagine if I did put the weekly in this video, how long this video will be. The next took a bit shorter, it took 9 minutes, but the video will still be really long if I put them in here. So I'm kinda glad I split the video into two, otherwise this video would have been 30 minutes long. I'm pretty sure you will be tired of my voice by then. Anyway, back to the seahorse, and just as I mentioned before, I hate this boss. Why give me a horn or slash shield that I cannot break? It's so hard to hit it. This boss is my most hated boss in the Abyss. Instead of trying to break the horn, it's easier to let him summon those little triangle thing and just break those. To aim for the horn is difficult. Throughout the entire match, I only did it once and it was at the end. And that marks the end of Fontaine Part 1. Fontaine Part 2 will be released on Wednesday as usual. In that part, we'll be fighting the all-devouring Nawa and the Knave. Trust me, those two weekly boss alone will take out the length of the entire video, even if I speed up the fight. Yes, that's how long this team takes to defeat two weekly boss. As always, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate everything that you guys give me, even if just a view. This challenge has been enjoyable for me to make, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. Once again, I want to mention that the live stream will be starting next week. I'm still setting up the new account, and once I set up, we're going to start the live stream right from the beginning. I hope some of you guys can join me there. Let's have fun together, guys. If you're not there, I'll be seeing you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.